pleasant and lovely afternoon to each and every one of us. It is my utmost pleasure to welcome all of you in our virtual culmination of the English Book Month with the theme From Read to Real. Great books make great movies.
That's right, Ian. A room without books is like a body without a soul. So, before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of our teachers, parents, and especially to our dear ILS students who generously devoted their time and effort for this special event.
But before we formally start this program, may I request everyone to keep your ears on the ground for our invocation, which will then be followed by our national anthem and CNU hymn.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, and worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, and worship Your holy name. The sun comes up. It's a new day drawing. It's time to sing His song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing till the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh
To formally start this program, here's our very own ILS supervisor for his welcome address. So please, let's give it all up for Mr. Renan Owel Colyada.
With the digital shift forced upon us by the pandemic, careful reading and comprehension are now more essential. And because we're all hostages of the virus, our only means of travel, at least for the time being, is through books. Dr. Filomena T. Dayagbil, SUC President 3 of Cebu Normal University, members of the Administrative Council, my CNU-ILS family, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We do celebrate English Month every November. Along with the celebration are two events. First is the National Book Week organized by the Philippine Librarians Association Incorporated, or PLAI. The Book Week is intended to encourage reading and literacy among Filipinos and to promote public libraries in the Philippines. Second is the National Reading Month, which started out in 2011 by former DepEd Secretary Brother Armin Luistro. Meanwhile, the Department of Education also announced November 25 to be the Araw ng Pagbasa or Reading Day. These initiatives were aligned with the then President Benigno Aquino's Every Child a Reader program. But why do we celebrate Book Month? First, it encourages reading. The ultimate goal of the National Book Month is to encourage reading, an activity with so many proven benefits. Reading can help anyone develop better vocabulary, improve memory, expand knowledge, and lower stress. Second, it honors the greatest. National Book Month helps recognize the greatest books and authors, which in turn gives young children diverse role models. It is important to show young people that literature and authors are still relevant and important. And third, it encourages family time. The National Book Month celebration encourages families to enjoy new books together. Reading aloud or discussing new works around the dinner table supports family time and bonding. Indeed, reading is what we need right now. It is our vaccine for ignorance and a doorway for a better tomorrow. Thank you, and once again, good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Colyada, for that warm welcome address. Now, let's move on to the part of this program where we'll be witnessing how creative and dedicated our pre-elementary students are as they showcase their talents in creating and decorating their customized bookmarks.
Big Lucy house. Wow. What? Big wolf. Scared.
Am
I am
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Pinocchio.
A real boy.
Boy. Mother.
Be
Is
smart
smart.
than be an actor.
Natural.
Bye bye.
Bye. I am Cinderella, a very patient, kind, and gentle girl. Because despite the rude she fed from my stepmother and stepsisters, I still stay calm. Because of my kind heart, my fairy godmother helped me to go to the ball. I was able to meet my Prince Charming. Finally, I got the happy ending. Let's remember, letter how your heart is grieving. If you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Once upon a time, in a land castle far, far away, there was there lived a green ogre named Shrek. I'm Shrek. I love my stinky swamp.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well,
Buddy, I'm Rudy.
From
From Toy Story. From Toy Story. Wait for the guy!
louder.
Bye! Meow, 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 meow. Hola, me llamo Kenzo Amadeus Altabrada, aka Puss in Boots, the brave, intelligent, and witty master cat. Dress and yours. Hasta la vista, baby. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the moon calling? Why do we cry?
Amazing, right, Bea? To think that at a very young age, they have already created such wonderful artworks.
Yes, indeed, Ian. I was actually astonished by their outputs. They were really beautiful. I'm so proud of you, baby. So that was just the start of our program, guys. So fasten your seatbelts and prepare to be amazed by the activities our fellow ILS students prepared for us.
You're certainly right, Bea. The students from ILS have a lot of things in store for us. So don't you go anywhere, because next up, we have character impersonation from grades 1 to 3 and multigrade.
Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter and Hermione Granger. And you're Ron Weasley? Pleasure. You two better change your clothes. Expect you'll be arriving soon. We've got this in your nose, by the way. Did you know? Just there. Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Guardian Leviosa. Look at you, playing with those cards. Pathetic. You've got final exams coming up soon. You say you're a dealer? Alright. What's the famous crucial ingredients in a forgetfulness potion? You forgot? And what, may I ask, will you do when this comes up in the final exam? Copy of me? No, you won't. Besides, according to Professor McGonagall, we're going to be given quills, which is an anti-cheating spell.
Hi, can you guess who I am? You got it. I'm Little Red Riding Hood. As you can see, I'm wearing a red velvet cloak and a basket full of sweets for my grandmother. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house. The way is clear. The light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should. The woods are just trees. The trees are just wood. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Ooh, these flowers are so nice. I am going to pick this up for grandmother. Other one. Basket. Oh, grandmother, you look so strange and different today.
It's because I am sick, my dear.
Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear you with, my dear.
Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have.
All the better to see you with, my dear.
Oh, grandmother, what big teeth you have.
All the better to eat you with, my dear.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bye. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. No.
You poor unfortunate souls. It's sad, but true. If you want to crush the big mystery, you gotta take it all. Take a gulp and take a breath and go ahead inside the scroll. Touch him, now I got it, boys. The boss is on a roll. This poor unfortunate soul. Beluga Saluga come with the Caspian Sea. Ready to the side of the max, laryngitis, la voce to me. Now sing.
Now that was fascinating. I sure do hope everybody gets an award for their outstanding performances. Bea?
Reading is a passport to countless adventures. Up next is the book poster activity from grades 4 to 6. Get ready to be blown away by our young aspirant artists.
Ooh, nice. Their outputs are very interesting to watch. It's amazing to see how all out everyone was on this event.
This time, your ates and kuyas prepared something that would spread awareness about coronavirus.
The world we know today is under a pandemic that has crippled many nations. In today's current time, living is a constant war. Going outside is very risky and dangerous.
This pandemic is caused by COVID-19 virus that originated in China and has been spread across the world since late 2019.
This virus is said to spread if the droplets and mucus of an infected person find its way into your body, specifically through your eyes, nose, and mouth.
To avoid catching the said virus, use a face mask. It blocks small particles including the virus, protecting you from its harmful effects.
Face mask is the way to go. Wear and wear this anywhere you go. As this is portable, make it ready to use anytime and anywhere. What about you, Bea?
With this and constant sanitation, you are bound to live a worry-free life in these trying times, and they are designed to keep droplets from spreading through coughing or sneezing, and they are relatively cheap.
Available in all drugstore nationwide. So what are you waiting for? Grab one or maybe a box now.
Thank you, Ate Bea, for sharing with us that educational video.
You're welcome, Kuya Lawrence. I sure do hope that you have learned something from that video so that you and your family are safe from the virus.
Now, we all know how good the ILS students are in writing and composing essays. Upon reading their outputs, I was awestruck by how deep the messages of these essays are. So next up, we have the essay writing winners.
We will be giving out certificates to the top 3 outputs that caught the attention of our judges.
Thank you very much, winners, for sharing with us your talent and inspiring us with your splendid essays.
Up next is the digital storytelling.
Digital storytelling is the practice of using computer-based tools to tell stories. It may contain a mixture of computer-based images, text, recorded audio narration, video clips, and or music. It is also often presented in compelling and emotionally engaging formats. It can also be quite interactive too.
Your ates and kuyas prepared something for us. Are you ready to listen to the stories they prepared for us? So what are we waiting for? Let the story begin in 3, 2, 1.
Mama, tell me about Chang'e.
Again?
Again! I like to hear about the moon goddess. Tell me, Mama.
Long ago, in an ancient story, there was a beautiful and kind girl named Chang'e and a handsome man named Hui were in love.
True love?
True love. Back then, when there were 10 sun, the people on earth was living in a blistering heat. Hui used his bow and arrow to shoot the 9 sun to save the earth. Hui received a portion of immortality as a reward for saving the people. But Chang'e accidentally took a magic potion, giving her immortality. Then she floated, leaving her true love. And she waits for him
On the moon above.
And that's where she waits now, on the moon, with only Jade Rabbit to keep her company.
Why?
Because we died here on Earth.
And when she cries, her tears turn into stardust.
Longing, hoping for her one true love.
Chang'e, I cannot stay. You have to move on.
Now she waits for him
On the moon above.
The story starts with Mitsuha Miyamizu, or Miki, who longs to be a boy in Tokyo in her next life. In order for this to happen, she unexpectedly switches bodies with a boy named Taki Tachibana. At first, both of them were quite annoyed at each other, but with time, both the teens found enjoyment in their switch incidents, as Taki manages to get a girlfriend and Miki becomes popular in school. Then suddenly, the body switch comes to an abrupt end. Taki, wanting to switch back, goes on to find Miki in real life. However, he has to rely on his memories to find her hometown. When he reaches Miki's hometown, he is only greeted with the face of a huge lake, along the new knowledge of learning that Miki's hometown was destroyed 3 years ago. It was then that Taki realized their timeline had a 3-year difference. Taki decides to visit a sacred shrine in hopes to reconnect with Miki once more, so he can warn her about the approaching comet and save her from her fated death. When he ends up reuniting with Miki, he succeeds to warn her and even talk with her for a bit. They plan to write their names on each other's hand so that they won't forget due to their timeline differences. But just when Miki was about to write hers, the moment of twilight ended, and Taki is left alone with an unfinished character in his hand, forgetting who Mitsuha is. It's up to Miki now to convince her people to evacuate the town, to avoid the coming comet that Taki said was going to destroy her only home. She has to save them. She has to. And in that moment of desperation, when she was slowly starting to forget Taki, she decided to read what Taki wrote on her hand in hopes of remembering him. And she broke into tears, for it wasn't his name that he wrote, but the words, "I love you." 5 years later, where Taki and Miki are on a train, 5 years since the comet incident, left with no recognition of each other, their lives went on as usual. Although, they felt like they were always searching for something, someplace, someone. And in that moment their eyes met, everything felt like deja vu. Nothing less, nothing more than a beautiful view.
Before my classmates left the room, I waved to them and said goodbye with a smile on my face. I, however, will be going home late today. After all, I was at the library all day doing homework. I checked the time and it was 6:27 p.m. I smiled to myself and walked out of the classroom. It's my first time walking home late at night. It gave me some shivers, but I was also a bit excited. After all, there was a rumor about the slith-mouthed woman walking around. Does it ring a bell? If not, let me tell you a short story. There was once a woman married to a soldier. She was the most beautiful among all women at the village, so the soldier was considered the luckiest man alive. Because the woman had impeccable beauty, a lot of men gathered around her, so she, who was arrogant, cheated with every single one of them. Till one fateful day, the soldier that she married found her kissing another man. The soldier was furious that he slithed her mouth so she wouldn't be beautiful as before. Legend says that she goes around schools at night and victimizes students. Do you understand why I'm so nervous walking alone? Well, I'm excited as well. Why, you ask? I want to see the slith-mouthed woman herself. Is she really that strong? Probably not. Hey, slith-mouthed woman, show yourself! Kill me, I screamed. But no one answered. I guess the slith-mouthed woman was just a childish bluff, huh? To keep children away from light. How childish. I proceeded to go home as I was very tired. I changed my clothes into comfy ones. I got to the bathroom and brushed my teeth. But first, I had to remove my mask. As I stared at the bathroom mirror, my face was full of horror. I was taken back, but after I recovered from my state of shock, I smirked and looked at myself in the mirror again. I forgot to tell you. Do you know why I know the story of the slith-mouthed woman? It's because I am the slith-mouthed woman. Now, am I pretty?
Bravissimo! Those stories were really captivating. I can really tell that they exerted so much effort into making their digital storytelling outputs. Am I right, Bea?
You're once again correct, Ian. It is indeed an honor to be a Normalite. Furthermore, we will now be moving on to the last activity for today's program, book trailers.
In this activity, students were tasked to create a trailer for a book of their own choice. These trailers are short promotional videos that aim to introduce and convince the audience to read that particular book. So, without further ado, here are the book trailers from the high school department.
In 1942, the world was at war, following the fall of France to Hitler's armies. The country was divided into two. Paris and the north are overseen by a German military administration. Jewish people were forced to deport to Paris. Benjamin and his daughter Anya were Jewish, so they were also forced to be deported. Benjamin decided to keep Anya safe by letting her go to a place where she would be secured. He said whenever they would be separated, they would meet again at Grandma's house. day, Benjamin met a young shepherd named Joe.
What's your name?
Joe followed Benjamin to his mother-in-law's house where he hid.
We won't be fine. Everything won't be fine.
Joe soon learns that Benjamin is a Jew and is hiding.
Do you know what the Germans did to the Jews?
He learns that Benjamin is waiting for Anya to come and has been waiting for several years now.
We always said if we ever got separated, we would meet at grandma's house. I'm here. And I'm staying till Anya comes.
Will Benjamin and Anya reunite in the end? Will they be safe and have a happy life?
It is the season of giving, warmth and beauty, families gathering round and children being the happiest they will ever be. It is practically the most awaited season.
I wish I had never been born.
But not for George Pratt. Catch George Pratt, a man who is dissatisfied with living as he experiences what life would be like if he wasn't born.
Ironically, we don't realize the value of something until it's gone.
Being sung by choirs and folks dressed
Would George have a much better, more fulfilling life if he wasn't born? Or would he have to realize the consequences of his wish? Find out in Philip Van Doren Stern's The Greatest Gift.
Tiny tots with their eyes all
Another mystery awaits to be solved. A prisoner on the loose. Dementors all over the place. The dead and the alive. The friend and the foe. The smell of betrayal wafting through the air. May the truth slowly unveil. Would Harry stand his ground and face his enemy head on? Or would he cower away and forever lose this fight? Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, now available in your local bookstores nationwide.
Now, that was quite persuasive. I may have even chosen a few books to buy soon. A big thanks to our fellow students for their very informative book trailers.
Well then, let's see who gets those books first, Bea. And oh, I almost forgot. We will now be moving on to the last activity of today's program. Newscasting. Please do fill us up with the details, Bea.
Sure thing, Ian. In this activity, students of the same grade level must create a news report that revolves on the topic CNU's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, let's take a look at how well our fellow students performed.
Hey everyone, I'm Aryan and today I will do a report. Now let me start. Due to the coronavirus, our studies were greatly affected by this ongoing crisis. The pandemic we're experiencing right now hindered a lot of our daily activities. An example of this is going to school. We are advised to stay inside our house 24/7 and to quarantine the whole time. We can't even go outside because our city is on lockdown. We're not even allowed to have physical contact with others since this can spread the virus a lot more easily. Right now, we have to do social distancing. We even have to be sanitary and hygienic. So, how do we learn if we're not allowed to go outside because of the COVID-19? How are we going to go to school when we're still in the middle of an outbreak? I will now pass you to the next reporter, Haley. Thank you.
Thank you, Aryan. Now, there are many ways to solve these problems. Problems such as not being able to meet face-to-face with our classmates and teachers, not being able to go out without being cautious of the virus, and one of the worst ones is not being able to have physical contact with other people. A common solution for the first problem is that we have online classes, but since not everyone has the luxury of having fast Wi-Fi and gadgets for online classes, it's hard to bring everyone together. A common solution for the second problem is that we always have to be cautious whenever we are going out. Bring hand sanitizer, alcohol, or anything to keep you clean. Wear face masks and face shields so that we can also lessen the chances of getting the virus. A common solution for the third problem is that, we social distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from each other to avoid physical contact, and so that you won't also be putting yourself at risk. Thank you for listening to our report. Have a good day. Bye!
CNU response to current pandemic. BTN News, the news for you. In this current pandemic, CNU students are coping the situation that schools are closed nationwide. In fact, 91% of students are affected. The government implements distance learning through synchronous and asynchronous activities. When a pandemic struck the Cebu City region, CNU opted for online basic learning. They've used learning platforms such as Google Classroom, Zoom, Google Meet, and others. CNU programs activities like ESD and English Book Month are done online. Webinars concerning physical and mental health are done for students to cope with the current situation. CNU encouraged students to take time to exercise and to take breaks away from the screens. Schools nationwide are mostly closed due to the pandemic, considering the risk of COVID infection. As of the Philippines, face-to-face learning will be only implemented once the vaccine is available. Hence, online meetings or supplying printed module are done. Schools nationwide are mostly closed due to the pandemic, considering the risk of COVID-19 infection. As of the Philippines, face-to-face learning will only be implemented once the vaccine is available. Hence, online meeting and supplying modules are done. Education is greatly affected by this pandemic. Parents have to allocate more time and money to their children's needs, from buying the needed gadgets and guiding their children's learning, especially kids between 6 to 12 years old. True, the government has found a solution to continue students' learning. Problems are still evident, especially problems with internet connection. But the government efforts for better internet connection. That's all for today. Until then, I'm Helena Rev R. Arzobal, supplying news for the local, only here on BTN, the news for you.
The COVID-19 pandemic has spread throughout the globe since the late 2019. This urged the Cebu Normal University to cancel the remaining months of the school year 2019 to 2020, and the school resorted into having online classes. Still, in the midst of the pandemic, the school administrators decided to hold asynchronous and synchronous classes for the school year 2020 to 2021 and let the faculty and the staff work from home to ensure their safety.
The Cebu Normal University Integrated Laboratory School just finished their third periodical test while it was midterms for the college students when the school decided to suspend the remaining classes of school year 2019 to 2020. Completing the entire semester and delivering classes was a problem that the school faced. With the risk of catching the virus, CNU's immediate response was to secure all students and employees, thus the suspension. They shifted to distance learning that only lasted for 2 weeks because it was suspended as well. Addressing this, the school gave the students consideration, allowing them to comply with all the requirements, and the administrators decided that no student will receive a failing grade.
For the school year 2020 to 2021, CNU delayed the opening of classes to observe if the COVID-19 cases will decrease. They maximized the use of technology by having online enrollment and online classes, but also taking into consideration that not all students have a stable internet connection. So the school decided to have only one synchronous class per subject in a week. Students were also given the chance to communicate with the teachers regarding all their concerns. An interview with Dr. Daisy R. Palampan was conducted addressing CNU's response to COVID-19.
We had to address the online enrollment because our agreement in the university is that no students and no faculty will be allowed to go to the university in terms of the physical presence. So we had to reframe our enrollment processes. We had to reframe our teaching and learning activities. So we had to train all our faculty members for the Google Classroom, and we had to implement the online learning. So it's fortunate for the integrated laboratory school that all parents agreed to have the online learning for all students.
Wow, CNU is an outstanding example in these times of crisis. We shall, indeed, hail your name with pride.
At this point, let us welcome Dr. Monique E. Cordova for the address of thanks. A warm round of virtual applause, please.
You have just witnessed the wit, the talent, the creativity, the cuteness, and the power of the imagination of our students in the Integrated Laboratory School. We know that behind each of our learners' triumph is a family who gave their support from the child's costume to the rehearsals to the recordings and the editing. To each one of you, we offer our sincerest gratitude. Matthew Jacobson said, "Behind every young child who believes in himself is a parent who believed first." Hand in hand with the parents who believe in this child is the whole CNU family who work together to nurture this gift and reach the child's full potential. We therefore recognize the CNU administration, headed by the University President, Dr. Filomena T. Dayagbil, who continues to give her support to the ILS. To the Dean of the College of Teacher Education, Dr. Ethel L. Abaw, and our ILS Supervisor, Mr. Renan Alculiada, who are always behind us every step of the way. Our sincere appreciation. To the advisors, subject teachers, and most of all, the team of English mentors who burnt the midnight candle to put all these together, thank you. Finally, to our precious learners, may you continue to shine and be a light for others. And always remember that books give wings to the mind and flight to the imagination. Thank you and good afternoon.
Hi, we are back once again to remind you that books give a soul to the universe,
Wing to the mind,
flight to the imagination,
and life to everything. This is Bea May Maniakap Batarilan,
and this is Lawrence Ian Flores,
your host for today.